To understand why you are broke, you got to ask yourself, what have I done in the last 7 days? What have I done in the last month? And these questions that you got to ask yourself, because there's something called the laws of cause and effect, right? So you're not broke by accident. You're not broke because of your mama. You're not broke because of your girlfriend, your wife. You're not broke because of your husband. You're not broke because of your boyfriend. You have to ask yourself, what have you been doing with your money? Right? You got to ask yourself. And this for people who got a job. You got paid last week. Just use an example. You just got paid. Where did your money go? So I want you to pull out a pen and a paper and look and say, where did my money go? What did I do with it? Did it go to the bar? Did it go to unnecessary spending at a restaurant? Where did the money go? And this for the people who got paid and now you broke and you wait to get paid again. And you trying to figure out, man, I'm tired of scrambling. That's one. Then you gotta ask yourself, what other source of income do I have? Do I have other sources of income coming in? Am I investing? Do I got a business? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta figure out, like, damn, how much money coming in, how much going out? Do I got a business, right? Do I got another source of income? No, I don't have another source of income. So now you need to be figuring out how to come up with another source of income. What you gonna do? You gonna sell shirts? You gonna sell hats? You gonna cut grass? You gonna braid hair? You gonna do nails? Whatever. You have to figure out. You gonna sell candles? You gonna sell body oils? You gonna sell soaps? Right? You got to get to the point where I need to figure this thing out. How to get another source of income? Am I gonna become a content creator? What? So these the things that you got to start evaluating. These the things that you got to start looking at, like real talk. Now, for the person who don't have no income coming in, right? That was just for the person who got a job. Listen, first of all, you need to live below your means. Stop living beyond your means. Second of all, you need to bring in another source of income, and you need to figure out what that's going to be. So sit there. What other source of income I'm going to bring in? What I'm going to do, right? For the person who don't have a job and you've been broke for the past 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, and you've been borrowing money here and you've been borrowing money there and whatever, or you ain't just got no money out, you got to ask yourself, what the hell is you doing? Right? You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what am I doing? What am I doing with my time? Are you comfortable? Are you living with somebody who's taking care of you and you just feel like so comfortable? Are you lazy? Right? So these things you got to ask yourself, like, damn, what am I doing? Right? So I tell people this. If you're going to work for yourself and you're going to start a business for yourself, you got to talk to 100 people a day. 100 people a day, that's 700 people a week, that's 2,800 people a month. You got to get up and you got to get active. You say you don't want to work a job, you say you don't want to work for nobody, cool. But you need to be doing some working, and that working needs to be, okay, you're going to be working for yourself. So you need to be getting up in the morning, and you need to be working all the way to the end of the night. You need to be creating your content on social media, promoting whatever business you're going to do. Right? You need to be just going hard, bro. You need to be out hand to hand working. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what laziness and being comfortable, them the two things that destroys you. Them the two things that keep you stuck. It keep you stuck. And you trying to figure out why you're not elevating, why you're not growing, because somebody's handicapping you or you just lazy. One or the other. You're being handicapped by somebody who's looking out for you, or you being lazy. You got to break out of it. And you got to go out there and you got to grind every single day. I don't give a damn. You go start selling soaps and incense, because that's what I do. I sell soaps, incense, body oils. You got to do what you got to do. You got to put that work in. You got to grind. You feel what I'm saying? No excuses. I ain't got no money right now. The same way you borrowed that $20 to go buy whatever you went to go buy, you could have borrowed $20 and started your fragrance business. You know what I'm saying? You could have borrowed $20 and when it got you some soap to sell. You could have borrowed $20 and got you some oil to sell. It's very cheap to get in there. It's not an expensive entry fee. It's very cheap to get into the body oil, soap, incense industry. You know what I'm saying? You got to get into the mind. Okay, I borrowed $20. I borrowed $5. I got to figure out how I'm going to flip it. And there's a million ways to flip it. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get on here real fast. We have to examine our behaviors, our spending habits, our personal habits. We have to examine what we doing, right? Because nothing is just happening by accident. People not rich by accident. People don't earn hundreds of thousands a year by accident. These people are very purpose driven. They're very direct. They know what they want out of life, and they're active, and they're constantly pursuing it actively. They got multiple sources of income. When you look at most rich people, they have multiple sources of income. So these are the behavior patterns that needs to be imitated. Okay, I earn $1,000 a week. I'm gonna take this $200. I'm gonna put it into some shirts, right? Boom. I got 20 shirts for $200. I'm gonna sell these shirts for $40 a piece. And if you got it at $200, that'd be $10 a piece. So you got them for $10 a piece. Now you sell them for $40 a piece. You sell them for $40 a piece. Come on, man. Come on now. And then you keep letting your money elevate. You keep letting your money grow. And you post on content about the shirts. You know what I'm saying? You post content about the shirts and you run ads on them on social media. Not only you do that, you go outside and you hand to hand, you talk to people. Matter of fact, get you some business cards to hand out. And you keep growing and growing and growing from there. And when the money starts to exceed what you're making at your job, then you leave. Once that things start to build up, and now you bringing in four grand a week from selling shirts and whatever else you selling with it, then you can leave. You, my brother, and you, my sister, who don't have a job right now, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You better learn how to use other people's money. You better learn how to use other people's money for sure. You know what I'm saying? You better start middleman and some stuff. If you know somebody out here, if you know somebody out here who already sells shirts, who already sell oils, start taxing their stuff. If they sell it for 20, you sell it for 30. If they sell it for 30, you sell it for 40. You tax them. If you got a cell phone, you could go film people. You could record people. People will pay you to come record them with your cell phone. I'm telling you, this is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out, what problem can I solve right now? What can I do right now? How can I middleman? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I can do pre-orders. I can do this. You got to get up off your butt and you got to go figure it out. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to give you nothing. Don't even worry about that, bro. So you got to break out that comfort zone. You got to break out that lazy zone. If you working on getting some money, you got to be active, man. But thank you for listening. Peace.